Hello, my name is Spencer, and over here we have...
I'm Joey.
And we're with Game Nerdz, and in this video, we're going to be giving you amazing two-player games that you can play. There's one for pretty much every type of person. And so we're excited to share this list with you.
Whether you're playing with a friend, a loved one, family member.
Even though these are in order, it's not by like how good they are or if one's better than the other. It just happens to be the order that they were put in. So here we go, 10 two-player games that you definitely should check out.
Yes.
So the first one is Summoner Wars from Plaid Hat Games. Now this game has been around a while.
The deck building game, right?
Well, sort of.
Well, you get to build your deck in it.
Yeah, so it came out in 2011, and this was actually the game that launched Plaid Hat. Put Plaid Hat on the map. This was designer Colby. He designed this game and was like, hey, I want to publish it, so I'm going to create Plaid Hat Games. And so this is specifically the second edition, Master Edition, that just recently came out last year, I believe, or the year before, most recently anyway. They're constantly putting out new content on this, but this is like, when you started explaining sorcery, and sorcery has that
sounds
map,
just like it,
it's
right?
got a board, and it's like a, it's like a TCG almost. It's got a lot of the similar things, but you have a board that you're putting your
you have your units that you're summoning, you have like your spells that you're casting and everything, and you play as the summoner yourself. Yeah, it sounds a lot like sorcery when you put it in the simplest terms, for sure.
Yeah, it really does. But like I said, it all can be self-contained. You don't have to buy a playmat. I think it's probably a little bit easier to get into than something like sorcery. And then if you do decide that you like it and you play it, there are a ton of expansions, things that add like campaign-style modes to it. So if you're looking for something that's like a TCG but doesn't have that type of, upfront involvement, investment into it, Summoner Wars is definitely a great option. You can go to nerds.me/summoner to check that out as well. All right, what do we got for the next one?
That brings us to our next one. Next one is Mr. Jack. This one you play as either Jack or the detective.
Yeah, and the great thing about Mr. Jack is it's also a game that's been around. It's been around even longer than Summoner Wars, but there's several different versions of it. There's Mr. Jack, which takes place in London, where the story begins. But then there's also a version where he comes to New York, and that implements new rules and ways to play. And there's a Mr. Jack Pocket. It's a portable version. So we have a link to the Mr. Jack London at nerds.me/Jack. And you can go check that out. But this is a great little hidden movement deduction style game based on clues, trying to track Jack before he escapes London.
It's cool, yeah, and you get to play against somebody else. I like when you get to play as like different, like you're completely opposite sides of what's going on.
Yeah, great for fans of deduction. If you like hide and seek kind of elements to games, Mr. Jack has been around for a while, and there's a very good reason for it. So the next game that we're going to talk about is Warchest. This actually is just a tiny bit of a cheat, because technically you can play this 2 or 4 players. I wouldn't really recommend playing it at 4 players. It's perfect at 2 players. This is a bag building game.
Okay.
And I love those. It's like a deck building, but a bag building game, you're getting chips. And these are factions of kind of like, I guess, Summoner Wars, but they're different factions with different abilities. And it's on the board. It's like an abstract style game where you're just trying to defeat your opponent. It's combat type stuff. And you get to buy chips and put them in your bag, and then you mix them up, and what you draw is what you can have option to play. And then, you want to remove the bad stuff, put more good stuff in, that kind of thing. Really cool box. It's magnetic, great production value from AEG. That's on your mug over there. So definitely recommend you check out Warchest. You can do that at nerds.me/Warchest.
Now, would this game this is a great 2-player game, and it's probably the best played as a 2-player game. But, it's also a 4-player game, right?
You can play it at 4. And when you do play it as a 4-player, it's teams. So it's 2v2. So, which is why, again, if you like that, and it definitely works. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it at 4-player, but I personally think that 2-player is the most... you're going to get the best experience out of it. So
our next game is Sky Team.
Yeah.
This is where you team up with somebody else and you're flying a plane.
You play as a pilot and co-pilot.
Yeah, pilot, co-pilot.
You're trying to fly a plane and go to different cities and land and deal with the different elements and stuff. It was important for me on this list to have a couple, at least one co-op option, because sometimes people don't like being head-to-head competitive. And so this is a great working together
It's
game.
good to have that mix of choices. Like
Yeah.
maybe some people aren't competitive, or you don't want to completely destroy your opponent like I do.
Right. Yeah. So it's a challenge. It's always fun going through challenges with people instead of by yourself. And Sky Team, great theme. A lot of variety here on this list as well. So you can check out Sky Team at nerds.me/sky.
This next one is obviously a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
It's one of our favorites, the Unmatched System. Not just any specific game, but the entire system.
Yeah.
These games are like made for 1v1s, really. Like,
Yeah. And
seriously.
you can do
You can do multis, but
1v1, three against 4. And then now, of course, with Unmatched Adventures, you can be cooperative. But yeah, definitely works as a head-to-head combat skirmish game. And with the variety of characters, all the sets that are out there, it's perfect. We couldn't not include it on the list for...
what's your favorite like classic set? Like, so not Tales to Amaze, but like, what's your favorite classic set?
Well, I mean, I have to be biased. I love the Robin Hood versus Bigfoot set. It's great because I love the characters.
Yeah.
But I also love the Cobble and Fog set.
I like the Cobble and Fog
which
set
is-
as well.
If you were to get the Bigfoot versus Robin Hood set is out of stock. Otherwise, I would recommend it. But the Cobble and Fog set, you get 4 characters with that one. So Sun's Origin is the newest, just 2 character one.
Right.
It's the smaller box. And so if you want something that's a little less, I wouldn't say overwhelming, but a more condensed, because those are smaller boards as well. That one is a good option too. And of course, there's Marvel. There's all kinds of stuff out there. But
yeah, sure.
yeah, so for Cobble and Fog, nerds.me/cobble, or for Sun's Origin,
Nerds.me/sun.
/sun.
I like Cobble and Fog because of Dracula.
Yeah, you would. All right. So, yes, the next item on the list is Sail, because, like I said, I like having at least 1 or 2 co-op options on a list like this, and Sail is another one of those co-op.
We're teaming up to
cooperative.
take on the Kraken, right?
Right, you're sailing across the ocean and trying to also deal with the Kraken that comes along. But the great thing about Sail is I've seen one other game do this very well, and it's the 2-player trick-taking mechanic, where the other game that it's in is Fox and the Forest Duet, which is a game I love and one I considered putting on here. But Sail has a few more elements to it that I think are a little bit more interesting. But it's like we're doing a trick-taking game, and whoever wins, depending on what you play and who takes the trick, impacts how you progress through the game. So it's not just, I win the trick or you win the trick. No, we have to...
You're winning the trick together.
Right, and we have to kind of like be on the same page, but not speak about it, because you can't talk about what, like you can't say, all right, I'm going to play this card, you play that card. And so this one especially, you don't have to worry about someone telling you what to do. Like you don't have to worry about saying, having to take a back seat and someone like telling you, hey, don't play that, you should play this one instead, because that's against the rules. And so if you really want a true cooperative experience for 2 players and a great box like this, small, portable, Sail is a great option. Working together in desperate effort to sail your ship out of dangerous waters. So this is actually my copy. I bought this. And you know what's cool about it?
What's cool about it?
I spent my rewards points to get a discount on it. Did you guys know GameNerds.com has a rewards system?
We do.
We do.
I just earned some.
You did?
I sure did. When I bought Wormspan.
You should spend them.
I should.
You could buy Sail from
I haven't
Allplay.
decided what I'm going to spit it on yet.
But yeah.
Probably that paint set.
Oh, yeah, you could do that. But yeah, if you're new to Game Nerds, whenever you buy something, you get a certain amount of points that you can then convert into store credit and then spend it on future purchases like Sail.
Our next game is one that I really like. It's called Odins Ravens, in which it's a racing game.
Yeah, this is another one that's kind of stood the test of time a little bit. It's actually its 2nd edition. Not a whole lot of just strictly 2-player racing games.
Sure, there's things that you can do to kind of throw a wrench into things, and you can even work with the god of mischief Loki to mess up your opponent.
And so this one's not like, a lot of racing games use dice or something. This one's definitely a card-based playing, and you're just trying to fly around a loop, essentially be the first one there. I really like the card play on this one, and it's one that may not be around for much longer. I will say that with every game on this list, including Sail, which I didn't say you could get at nerds.me/Sail, will either have in stock right now or there has been there is an active attempt to.
There's some on the way.
Order, yeah.
There's some on the way. So this is So if you, make sure you hit that restock notification because they're on the way. They really are. So
yeah. So any of these games, if they're not in stock right now, set a restock notification. Especially Odins Ravens, because I'm not confident there's going to be, any game that's really good should always get a reprint, but you just never know.
You never know.
So especially with Odins Ravens, check that one out. You may not see that again for a while. Nerds.me/Raven. All right, well, we can move on to the next one.
For sure, yeah. Our next one for you dinosaur fans is Raptor. Yeah, and this one you're going to play as either a scientist or the dinosaur. And you're trying to escape with your BBs as a dinosaur, or you're trying to
capture the babies. To study. Yeah, this is a great, you can decide, I want to be the dinosaurs, and then they play very differently. And so I know that when Laura and I first got this, we played like 4 games in a row, switching back and forth between roles.
That's awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
I want to play as dinosaur only.
Dinosaur only?
Only.
Oh, okay. But this is one that's been around for a while too. And it's a great team up by Bruno Catala and Bruno Feduti. They're a great design team. But you play cards, and it's got a really cool action selection mechanism. Really fun, and that's Raptor. You can get that at nerds.me/Raptor. And that brings us, we've got 2 games left. The next game on the list, is Hive. Hive. Now, I saw this game a lot just at stores. I was like, what's the big deal? It's bugs. It's bugs
are
on
exciting,
tiles.
man. What are you talking about?
But then I saw, okay, there are all these awards, and so I was like, okay, maybe these people know something that they're talking about. So
what's more important than protecting your queen and trying to take out the queen of your enemy?
Yeah, I mean, there's not many more important things about Hive or about what you just said. I saw Hive
specifically.
Yeah. But yeah, you're trying to protect your queen. And it's a very chess-like game. If you want something that's a little bit different than chess, it's very portable. It's got really cool pieces. You very strategically, each bug has a different way to move, and you're trying to surround your opponent's queen bee first.
Yes.
Because
it can get pretty exciting because of you're trying to manage all that and stop them from getting your bee. And
and what's great about it is it's extremely portable because all you have are those big chunky tiles, and so you can play it outside. So nothing's going to blow away.
But what if bees attack because they think that you're trying to get their queen?
You just throw the pieces at them.
Yeah, that'll probably work. Yeah,
you can block their queen in.
You can block their...
and then you win.
Where can they get that, though? They can get that over at nerds.me/Hive.
That's right. Thanks for the reminder. The last game on the list is Lost Cities.
Nobody guessed it.
In the 2-player line from Cosmos. I think this came out in 1999, and it continues to be reprinted, different versions. There's a board game version of it. There's a year or so ago came out with a roll and write version of Lost Cities. But when you look at the game and it's explained to you, you might be like, I'm not interested.
You wouldn't be interested in going to check out all sorts of lost cities and different biomes and things like that?
On the surface, that sounds interesting, but really what it comes down to is you're just playing down cards with numbers on them. And so it's like, but when you actually play, I don't know what it is, but something about it, when I play it, it's smooth. You take your turn, boom, 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 boom. It's over, and you have moments where you feel clever, and I don't know, it's just... There's something about it that feels very satisfying, and it doesn't feel too attacky, too competitive. Sure, you're going against the other person, but there's not really a whole lot of I'm gonna punch you in the face going on, unless you're that kind of person.
I mean,
but it's just some cards and a board, and you're trying to do better at your expeditions, which mechanically it's just you're trying to put more cards down than your opponent. But it's stood the test of time, and I think anybody that was looking for a great 2-player game to just kind of kill some time with or whatever would enjoy that.
If you'd like to get in on this classic, you can go over to nerds.me/lost.
Yeah, nerds.me/lost to check out Lost Cities. Now, I saw a lot of people as we were going through here saying wow, this is not like my list, no crossover. Well, that's probably because I did on purpose. I put some things in here that are pretty standard. I feel like a lot of people might put Lost Cities on their list, or even Hive. I don't know, but I intentionally left off Patchwork because everyone's gonna say Patchwork, you know. And not that there's anything wrong with Patchwork, but I just
want to offer like a variety, maybe more things that people can check out.
I want to make sure that on these lists we're giving you lots of different titles to discover, and I'm not just going to pick anything, just something to put on there. But these are definitely vetted and approved by. We've all looked at the list and say, okay, these are great.
These are
games.
good.